ਟੀਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਦੂਰ ਪਿਆਰ ਤੇ ਨਿੱਘ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ 'ਚ ਨਿੱਘਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਸਿਰ 'ਤੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸੇ ਹੀ ਲੜੀ ਦੇ ਤਹਿਤ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਕ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਕੋਲ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮਾਰਟਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੋਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦੇ ਮੁਹਤਾਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਇਸ ਵਾਰੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਡਿਸਾਈਡ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਈਸਟ ਤੋਂ MPP ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੰਟੈਸਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਸ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਬਾਕੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਹੋਰ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਮਾਰਟਨ ਸਿੰਘ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਸ਼ੋ।
Thank you so much. Sat Sri Akal Baji. It's a pleasure to be here.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਹਾਊਜ਼ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਗੋਇੰਗ?
The campaign's coming along fine, fantastic. So despite the quick start and the cold weather, we've had volunteers coming out every day. They're going door to door. They're sharing our message. People are responding back to us and engaging us very well also. Very positive response at the doors, very positive response with all the telephoning that we're doing as well. We also have a very active social media campaign. I think you may have seen some of our videos out there as well. So like from my perspective and the team, everyone's doing exactly what they should be doing, and we are very pleased with the outcome so far.
So why you decided to come to Brampton East? It was your choice or the party wanted you to run from Brampton East?
Okay, so for the past number of years, a lot of my community work has involved people in Brampton East. I was just recently, this past June, I ended my term as the commanding officer for the Cadet Corps, the Army Cadet Corps here in Brampton. And many, if not most of our cadets come from the east of Brampton. And also you may recall that I ran municipally as well. And so that municipal area covers the lower half really of the Brampton East riding. And so I have a solid understanding of the issues and the concerns that people have here. And I know that they want me to be able to be the one to go to Queen's Park to represent them as their MPP.
So it is easy to run the election in this kind of weather, especially, when the elections are totally unexpected?
So it is absolutely a challenge. And I can say, frankly, it was done on purpose. So the Doug Ford Conservatives are interested in only winning for winning's sake. They are actually not concerned about democracy or running things properly. Well, tragically, but I mean, politics is politics, but when it doesn't actually work in favor of the people, then that's unfortunate. Like, that's not what we want. I mean, we want Canada and the province of Ontario to be the very best it can be. We want the city of Brampton and our riding of Brampton East to be the very best it can be. So it's unfortunate. That being said, though, despite all the challenges with the weather and that sort of thing, we're getting a fantastic and positive response. So we have our canvas teams out every single day, no matter if it's snowing or sleet or rain, like nothing stops us. We're doing the interview now, but I'll be out on doorsteps myself. And it's supposed to have a 15 to 18 centimeter snowstorm this afternoon. So I'll be out. So if you want to follow me and your cameraman want to follow me out there, you can get some clips of me walking in the snow. Because the thing is we understand that we have to make a commitment to the people here. We have to let them know that we are willing to work very, very hard for them. And so it doesn't matter what the weather is, doesn't matter how cold it is. Yes, it's challenging, but we will be there for them.
So what is your priority for Brampton East and after Brampton, also Brampton and the province, if you got elected on 27th of February?
So the very first thing that people should be looking at in Brampton East is to make sure that they have an MPP that actually works for them. What's fortunate in here in the province of Ontario, there's actually a tracking system if people want to go online and they can see how many times their MPP has voted in this current parliament. So this is since 2022. For our riding here in Brampton East, tragically, the Conservative MPP, like we call him the invisible MPP because he almost does no work. So if you look at how many times he has voted, he's only voted 5 times. There are other MPPs in Brampton that have voted 89 times in the same, period since 2022. So if he's only voted 5 times since 2022, he's made about $250,000 of taxpayers' money and salary. Budget, that's $50,000 a vote. And so people aren't being represented. And because people aren't being represented, things aren't getting fixed here. And that's the tragedy. So it's first at your MPP level, and then we talk about the riding. Schools are a challenge. So in the New Democratic Party, we're talking about a 4-point plan to help improve schools. One, we need to improve infrastructure. You know very well. You drive by a school, there are all kinds of portables. It's a challenge. It's also staff. We need more staff because the classrooms, have too many kids in them. Also, 2 parents who work downtown because also many people live in Brampton, but they don't work in Brampton. And so for them to get back to pick up their children is a challenge. So we need extra money for staff for after school programs and that sort of thing. Also, this one makes me so sad, Budgie. We have many children in our city who go to school hungry. And so the New Democratic Party has said, we'll make sure we provide food for all the children so that no one comes to school hungry. So that's our third point in the plan. And then finally, there are a number of children who have special needs for whatever reason. We want to make sure that every single child has the ability to do the best that they can in school. So that's our school perspective, yeah, and that absolutely applies to the riding. If we talk about the larger area of Brampton, obviously the most clear one that we talk about is the hospital. So the Conservatives promised the hospital in the last election. They said shovels would be in the ground in 2023. I don't know when the last time you were out there, Paji, but there are no shovels on the ground. There is nothing happening there.
Now they are promising 28th of March.
Of course. Why not? I mean, they promised that in the last election. And then 28th of March will come and it will go. Nothing will happen. And then, then we'll be waiting until the next election for the next promise. Like it's so tragic because the thing is our city on paper has 800,000 people. We have one fully functional hospital.
Now we are more than Mississauga.
This is true. And how many hospitals do they have? I think it's 3 or 4, and so no wonder people have hours and hours, half a day long wait in the emergency room and that sort of thing. It's not that they're doing a bad job at the hospital. They're trying the best they can with what they have. But if you're sticking all of the population of a city into a single hospital, when there should be like at least 3 hospitals, never mind 2, of course it's going to be a challenge, And on top of that also, this has a knock-on effect as well. The NDP has come forward and they said that we are promising in the New Democratic Party to have 3,500 family doctors brought in for the province. So that's not just Brampton, that's everywhere. But we need places to train them. Yes, the university's coming. Yes, the medical school's coming. We will teach them that part there. But when it actually comes time for them to go into the community to get their practical hands-on training, you need places for them to get that done. The hospital is one obvious place because teaching hospitals do exist. So the hospital's not just there for the emergency room. It's not just there for long-term care. It's also a very important part to getting family doctors into the community. And so these are the things that we're working and focusing on. There are a number of others as well. We talk about housing. We talk about the 407, getting rid of congestion. We have a plan to help deal with car theft and that sort of thing. And all these pieces fit into, yes, Brampton East, but the rest of Brampton also. And as the campaign goes on, more and more things will be shared.
Everybody is concerned about law and order, auto theft, and all those things. And when you go to police and they are demanding more funds because they goes, we don't have enough people to deal with the population. So what is your and your party take on that? So you will increase the funds for the police, or what do you say?
So the thing is this, when we talk about crime and theft, certainly we want to make sure that police have proper funding, but it's broader than that. There are a number of things that can be done. Also, what we want to do, we want to work with our municipal brothers and sisters who are elected to make sure that we have a coordinated plan so that everything is working together in the most efficient way. We know that there's a car theft problem that exists in Brampton generally, and it is, particularly bad in Brampton East. And tragically, no one's talking about it, right? On the other parties. So Conservatives have been in power for 7 years. They have done nothing. Liberals have been there in opposition, and they don't say anything about it.
When are you going to be opposite?
Yeah.
To increase the funding.
Yeah. Well, we might want to talk about her later and how she hates Brampton, because you and I both know she has spoken very, very badly about Brampton in the past. And now she's trying to blow us kisses at election time. But the people of Brampton are smart. She has caused us so many difficulties in the past. But to get back to the topic we were talking about, car theft, the New Democratic Party has done some work on this. So there are other jurisdictions, meaning other provinces in Canada, not all of other provinces, but some other provinces in Canada, and some states in the United States that have a very important type of VIN tracking system. Now, it doesn't prevent the car from being stolen, but it helps it from being resold. So if the car can't be sold, then the people won't be motivated to steal it. You see where I'm going with that? And the cost of implementing this type of a system is not overwhelming. And so it's something that we can really put in place very early when we form government on February 27th. So what I'm sharing with the good folks of Brampton is, we hear you, we understand the challenges you have. We have started to put together a plan. point number one of the plan is the VIN tracking system that I talk about. And it's not like we're making it up out of nowhere. We know it exists in other provinces. It's effective in other provinces. Why not bring it here? We absolutely will.
Because there are some devices privately they are selling, those, they can prevent the vehicle to be stolen.
Right.
So why the car companies, so they are not installing, when they manufacture the vehicle?
That's it. And I absolutely agree with you. Like the manufacturers do hold some responsibility for this. I mean, if they're making vehicles that are easy to steal, that's entirely inappropriate. Yeah. The challenge that we have currently is that we know from his past practice, Doug Ford doesn't hold any companies to account at all. Mm-hmm. So if we look at 2022, the company that owns the private section of the 407 highway owed the government of Ontario $1 billion. Yes. He wrote it off because he's friends with those guys and he's only concerned about making rich people richer. We also know too, not this past Monday, but Monday prior, the Financial Accountability Office of the province of Ontario came forward and said Doug Ford's plan to put alcohol in the stores is going to cost taxpayers $620 million. His plan to put a luxury spa down at the old Ontario place is going to cost every family, Paji, hear me, every family, your family, my family, every family in Ontario, $400 each of tax dollars. Mm-hmm. And so think about this, like all of this waste is happening. He's just giving money away to his rich friends. And this is why the manufacturers aren't being held to account. He doesn't care about us. He cares about making those people close to him happy. And so we all have to suffer while he is, enjoying. And it's an absolutely unfortunate part of what's happening with this government.
Another challenge for all of us is our neighbor, Trump. Do your party have some kind of solid plan to tackle with that abnormal guy?
So what it is, Pudgy, it's important that we do a compare and contrast here. So we have Doug Ford, leader of the Conservative Party, and he's coming forward and he's saying, we needed this election. We need a supermajority to be able to negotiate with Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. You and I both know tariffs got paused last week. Yep. Did you see Doug Ford anywhere on the television as part of that? No. Did you see any other premier from any other province on the television as part of that negotiation? No. It was Prime Minister and President. It is the Prime Minister's job to get that done. And Doug Ford has literally nothing to do with it. Zero. And so we have this election for nothing. That costs $200 million all by itself. So that's a lot more that's a lot of other money that could be invested in the priorities that we're talking about, like schools and hospital and that sort of thing. And so what it is also too, we look at who Doug Ford is as a person. He's wasting money like crazy and he's a bad negotiator. Is that actually who you want? By contrast, Merritt Stiles, the leader of the Ontario NDP and the future premier of the province of Ontario, negotiating was her job. She worked with the unions. In her job, she negotiated with some of the largest unions in all of North America, many of them based in the United States, and she negotiated good deals. She got improved wages, improved benefits for all those workers. So do you want somebody who's, chronically making bad decisions and negotiating poorly, or do you want someone who has years of skill and a record of success negotiating at that table? I would choose Merritt Stiles, the future premier of the province of Ontario, for that, so she can work with the other premiers in a Team Canada approach to be able to advise the Prime Minister on what we need to keep Brampton safe.
So I was watching TV from this morning, and most of pollsters there putting the NDP very behind from other two parties. So how are you going to tackle that challenge?
Pudgy, I don't know which poll you're looking at.
It's Nano, Nick Nano.
Yeah. Well, Main Street, which is a major poller, which tends to have a conservative bias, put me in the lead in Brampton East.
I'm talking about the Ontario.
Okay, but you'll have to forgive me. My focus is Brampton East, quite frankly, and also I watched Brampton Centre also because I ran there municipally in the last election, and the Main Street poll, which we know tends to have a conservative bias, meaning they tend to put conservatives higher. It said NDP was leading in Brampton East and NDP was leading in Brampton Centre. So it's difficult for me to comment on what's happening in ridings in Ottawa or North Bay or Thunder Bay. My focus is here right now. I mean, I have to make sure that I engage with the people in Brampton East so that they know that I am working for them. And it's coming, like, people are realizing that, we're doing a good job here. And as a result, people are deciding to vote for us. And that's why whatever else is happening in the province is happening. But locally here in Brampton East, with my candidacy, Martin Singh, and also for the NDP candidate, Sukhumrit Singh, in Brampton Centre, we are leading in our areas.
So anything else you want to say to our viewers?
100%. What I'd like to share with you, and people have been asking me also, Martin, what are you going to do in the first 30 to 100 days after you're elected? And I'm saying, don't wait 30 days after I'm elected. Come talk to us now. We have an office. The office is at 4515 Ebenezer Road. We welcome everybody to come here, and we are interested in hearing your concerns now so we can start working on them so that on day one, when I am elected as the NDP MPP for Brampton East, we have solutions already at hand to help people improve their lives.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Baji. Sat Sri Akal.
Sat Sri Akal.